Hey everyone, we're back again. I have no idea what happened and why we ended up just losing the stream. So we're going to try this one more time, and if it fails again, we'll have to try again next time. But let's try. Let's hope that this does not drop out again. The topic for today, it's Get Naked Mondays, so Tim and I are going to talk about our lives and how we're dealing with stuff. And specifically, we're going over dealing with rejection, anxiety, and Dungeons and Dragons, and maybe some other things. So let's just try again. Well, hello and welcome back to Thought Raid, a show where we take on thoughts and find better ways of thinking about them. I'm Brandon, and with me today is Tim, and today we're going to try this again. It's Get Naked Monday, where we metaphorically get naked and talk about things going on in our own lives and how we're handling them. And so hopefully we don't get a black screen of death like we did last time, or a green screen for that matter. YouTube has been weird. I don't understand why we're having more and more issues with it. If this keeps happening, we may switch everything over to Twitch. So, just going to put that out there. Anyways, the topic, again. We're going over last night's experience with Dungeons and Dragons and it's like, what's the word? Oh gosh. Rejection anxiety, dealing with that. I was going to go into a background of how we got to that and how I'm dealing with it and just kind of go from there. So,
Brandon, kind of before you jump into that story, if you're going to launch into that story again, I just think it's so interesting about, talking about rejection, how you felt last night, because that's exactly the same feeling that my character felt all the way through the start of the entire campaign.
Oh my gosh, really?
Well, no, just like I say the character just because I played him in a way that wasn't as conducive to conversation. And there was like that wall there. I mean, did you feel that early on?
That your character had a little bit of a wall to conversation?
Yeah.
I mean, look at my character. He didn't know common. He had a huge wall to the point that Eric ended up asking if he had autism. And I'm like, no, he does not have autism. Oh my God. I don't think I can ever let him live that one down. Asking that.
I mean,
But
it made sense.
But I mean, like, I feel like your character was a little bit more socially adept than mine. And like, but definitely I will say that he kind of put himself on edge with the entire group multiple times, yes. But
that's the thing, early on, it's almost like morality was over here and everybody was moral and just, and my character was making questionable decisions. And because of that, there's a wall between him and the group, and I had to decide, okay, we break through the... What would you even call that? Just like the help me out. What do you call that? Character growth.
Oh,
Encourage him to go through some character growth, even if I didn't think I was ready for it. And I decide, was I going to do that, or was I just going to let him go?
Okay, I'm noticing something. Once again, there's throwing more errors at me, which is it said the bitrate was higher than expected, so it's wanting us to drop down the bitrate, which may have been the problem in the first place. My God, this has been frustrating, so frustrating. We're trying to have a proper stream, and YouTube is just being very annoying. I think it previously suggested 4,500. We got to that, and it's like, no, this is still too much. Ugh.
Well,
I'm determined. Do you want to try one more time, Tim, to make this work? Because we might make an extremely short stream just to at least have something. Oh my gosh. Your quietness is not reassuring. Oh gosh. It says it's not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. Has been the problem all day today. It's just one error message after the next. And now it's saying it has an excellent connection. Oh my God. What even? I don't know. Maybe we'll have to keep it in this particular stream rather than having one video camera take up the whole thing. We'll just have it split that seems to be working better than anything else. We could try that.
Yeah, the quality is incredibly low though.
Oh, it's still pretty low,
Yeah, it's at 144p.
and it can't go any higher than that. Oh, that's
Oh
so
no.
annoying.
Oh, never mind. I just adjusted the quality on my
Oh,
side.
oh, there we go. Okay, we'll try to go. If it cuts us out again, then I guess we're just done for the day. Would you be able to repeat what you said last one more time?
Gosh, I don't even know where we were at this point.
I was
Basically, I was the odd sheep out, and
yes,
now Brandon's the odd sheep out.
and now my character's the odd sheep out. Yes, when we
And you feel some kind of way about that now.
I do. So that's the whole basis for this conversation today of just like it's made me like recognizing and separating. I don't know. I felt like last session I had a hard time separating how the characters of each person viewed my character and how people view me. I think that was part to do with the problem that I had yesterday. So again, we'll go into a bit of context. Yes, your character started off on the pyre initially because we didn't know who your character was, and you had a proclivity to talk snootily to people, and at the same time, all of your attacks would do damage, oftentimes to me or someone else in addition to the enemy target. So that was really the biggest problem. I don't know about when it came to social aptitude. I think in terms of social aptitude, Rill has always been low on the totem pole because he hasn't known common much until recently. But you kept hurting people. Oh, it's saying errors again. Oh gosh. What is it saying? Keyframe frequency for 4 seconds or less. Current keyframes are not sent often enough. I'm going to not worry about it. If it stops, it stops. Anyways, so this last session that we went through, I'll go through this one more time. The last session that we went through set me on edge because in the previous session, my character Rill, so I play a Vidalcan character. Vidalcans, they are alien looking, blue skin, not a lot of hair, and they tend to be towards the perfectionistic side, like trying to perfect society. So I'm playing a Vidalcan, okay? My Vidalcan character doesn't know English well, but he's learning English over time. And he's lawful neutral. So he's not really good or evil because his morals are based upon whatever was set for him by his tribe that he came from. So that's why I've kind of decided he's lawful neutral, okay? I did not realize the sheer amount of chaos that my team would be bringing to the table when I created him. Because Dan, who was our DM, originally said, don't make any evil characters that's hard for me to like write a story for. Make sure they're good or at least neutral at best. So I was like, okay, I'm going to make sure not to bring my previous character, Jalix, which was straight chaos, back into the situation. I'm just going to go with the flow, and I'm going to make a character that's good, but not quite good, like, I don't know, lawful is what I came up with because I wanted to give wiggle room for him to not be a goody two-shoes. I did that, okay? In the last session, Rill had finally gotten to a place where he felt comfortable enough with his party to open up about the frustrations that he'd been repetitively experiencing, and they were definitely reaching a climax on that particular session because we were sent on a mission the session before that session, so I guess 3 sessions back now, to investigate a magic shop holder named Brim. Because somehow the like half or a quarter of the population of the city we were in was turning into hags and werewolves and breathing fire out of their mouth, and all kinds of crazy stuff was happening because some potion dealer was dealing tainted potions. So we had fixed that issue by helping out the person who sold those potions. Hello, Zap. Sell those potions to recover his greater restoration potions, which were stolen by a goblin that he hired. We still don't really know the logistics behind that. It was kind of shady. And we managed to outright murder that goblin. Whereas you, with your character Nemo, shot the goblin in the back with all his bag of potions that he had stolen, and they went up like a Christmas tree. And you had managed, because you had done a nat 20 hit and then some other things too, you end up doing like 150 some odd damage to this goblin. And mind you, the goblin already had increased health because he had like a potion of what was it? In growth potion of some
Enlargement. A potion of enlargement.
enlargement. He was enlarged. So he already had that going for him. And you shot him, and you crit succeeded, and the potions started exploding on his back. And some of them burned him, some of them did acid to him, some of them healed him, and then burned him again. And by the time the last potion was done, he was a pile of crisp ash on the floor.
It was beautiful.
It was.
But then we got back to town, and apparently we weren't supposed to kill him.
Yeah, so we had to take all that back to and explain things to Masuda, who is the mayor or ruler of the city that we're in. And he was not happy with what we did. Even though we saved the town from certain destruction, I don't know, we weren't supposed to kill the goblin. So we had to do some increased investigation to figure out if any other parties were involved in tainting these potions. And one of those targets was Brim. So we go to Brim's shop, okay? And our goal was we're going to distract him so your character, Tim, could go into his back stock room and find any kind of incriminating evidence. And while he was doing that, I was distracting Brim by asking him interrogation questions. But Rill, my character, had a problem with the shopkeeper because we had to
That's the essence of my character.
Yes. So my character had a problem with the shopkeeper Brim because he sent us on a quest to kill a spectator to get its eyes so that way we could restore the sight for his wife. And the spectator, if you don't know what that is, it's a step down from beholder. Beholders are these floating ball orbs. They're a floating orb monstrosity with one giant eye and multiple 10 or so different small eyes and eye stalks. And they're supposed to be incredibly smart, and each eye does a different damaging effect or something to the people that it's targeting. Okay? Terrible thing. We're going to a watered down version of that. And we managed to kill it. And cut off its eye stalks, take it back to the shopkeeper, and he gave us something like a 10% discount on all of his goods, which to Rill seemed like a poor reward for literally taking on a very dangerous monster. So he had that biasy going into the interrogation, and he was going to let the guy have it because he felt like he was being put off by the guy. So he absolutely failed the interrogation, but succeeded in distracting him enough, as well as his friend with him, Scrimhawk, which is a rabbit folk, who is a paladin. We managed to distract him enough so that your character, Nemo, was able to go and steal some stuff.
Okay, so that wasn't the plan. I was just supposed to go back there and look for things. I panicked, and I started grabbing whatever I could grab.
Yep. And including some receipts or whatever they're called, documents. Manifest, yes. You took that too, which you probably could have just started and stopped with that, but you also took some other stuff. And then we left.
I had an opportunity.
We're going to ignore that he's using a monster eyes to cure sight for his supposedly human wife. Oh, she's not a human. She's a turtle person. I don't know what they're called. There's some kind of name for them in D&D. Somehow I don't know how that works. I don't know if he grind down the eyeballs and injected the eyeball juice into his wife's eyes. I don't know how that works. However it did, apparently it started to work. We never met his wife before, so we couldn't verify if she was truly blind or not. But it seemed like we went through a lot of work for low reward. Either way, Nemo decided to steal stuff. And Rill, my character, had a building list of things that was bothering him. Like being shot by Nemo in the process of him trying to kill and take out other characters, and just other discrepancies here and there. So when Nemo decided to steal stuff, that triggered my character Rill. Made him very upset, because it's like, he grew up in a place where if you tried to screw over your neighbor, you were probably going to wind up dead, and not only you dead, but your whole tribe and other tribes nearby. So it's like, you just don't do that kind of stuff, okay? That's the lawful neutral side of Rill. Last session, Rill decided, I have to fix this issue. So
by narking on the whole party.
I didn't narc the whole party, okay? Am I understanding the carrots give you better eyesight thing? I don't know if carrots technically do that in reality. They say that. I don't know. I feel like that might have been a lie that they've kind of sold to us, but I don't know. I can't verify or deny that reality. Anyways,
it says the carrots are high in vitamin A, which is essential for good vision.
Okay, so maybe they do.
WebMD.
WebMD. Yes. So my character Rill decides, okay, I'm gonna make everything right, because not only did we rob him, Brim, but we also insulted him, and in turn he ended up destroying one of our objects, this decanter, this seashell-looking thing, I think, that just infinitely pours water. Okay, we decided to do these things. And Rill was like, okay, I'm going to make things right. Because in his mind, he believes, and because, again, Rill is designed, so the way I make my characters in D&D is they are exaggerated versions of myself. Like, focused in on a specific aspect of myself. Rill is the perfectionistic side of me. So, everything rides on his shoulders. If the team fails, it means he's failed. Because if he's doing everything right, there should be no problems. Everything should operate just smoothly. That's the way he thinks. That's the way he was raised. And that's the way life molded him. And so here I am. I'm playing this perfectionistic character. The team has stolen things. We've insulted the guy. There's problems. Rill's going to take everything onto his shoulders. So he goes. He doesn't have any of the things that were stolen. He just decides, I'm going to give this shopkeeper everything I own, prostrate myself before the guy, and hope that he forgives me, but not tell him that it wasn't my character Rill that did the stealing. I didn't do the stealing, other people did. Because in his mind, he's thinking, okay, I gotta protect my team so that they can survive and we can overcome this issue. So he does that, and that causes a lot of drama, understandably. And people are concerned, and they're angry with my character, or at least the other people on the team are angry with Rill, and it's a... Oh gosh, please reconnect to YouTube. Okay, are we back? We're back. We're back! So, as I was saying, hopefully it doesn't have the same issue it did before, and hopefully it's not just a permanent black screen again. Oh god, please don't be a permanent black screen. Okay, I think we're good. Are we good? We're good. Okay. Anyways, so I don't know where it was before it disappeared and came back. But we're back, Zap. Yes, we're back. So I created a lot of drama in the previous session, and now the one that we just recently did, the drama continued. And that's where the performance anxiety begins. Or not performance anxiety, excuse me. The rejection anxiety. Performance anxiety. What?
Brandon, I think that's something completely different.
I think so too, and that was not the words I was trying to use. Okay, so rejection anxiety. I was mentioning in the previous stream before it kaput that I recognized as of yesterday that I started to have an issue separating how people view as their character, my character, and how people outside of their character view me as a person. So when the drama that Rill started by, without getting anyone's approval and trying to go back to Brim and fix the issue and blame everything on himself, was building, I wasn't expecting for that to continue and for him to be so testy in the previous session that we just now had. And because our characters, in all technicality, don't know each other for very long at all, they don't really know Rill or how to communicate to Rill in a way that Rill reciprocates well. And so there was often moments in the previous stream, or the previous session, where Rill was kind of being stubborn or like testy with people. And no one was reacting much as their characters. And I took that as, oh no, people have a problem with me for being dramatic son of a once all over again.
Son of a Vidalkin.
Yes.
But we talked about that today, about how I viscerally wanted to do certain things to Rill, like take him by his lapel and just be like, listen here, you little piece of but I didn't do it. I don't know why I didn't do it. I think I don't know. Maybe it's the rejection thing too.
Maybe I'm not the only one dealing with rejection anxiety in this whole game.
Well, I think also the way I played my character before, I think I would have done that. But now I'm just trying to give way to people's backstories and that type of conflict. Being too egregious or chaotic with those things, I feel like would step on people's toes.
So yeah, it's, I don't know, like I don't know exactly what the proper cadence is. Like, how much of your character do you push through? How much do you step back and let someone else's character push through? I think that was also kind of playing a factor in like me feeling the way that I did in the last session, because there was a lot of people being quiet, and I'm like, I feel like I'm overpowering everyone. I feel like, like this is a problem that's just being hashed all over again. And I was talking with you and Dan earlier, and I was thinking to myself, like, I feel like the hole that was starting to kind of fall down was like, my character's being overly dramatic, and people are annoyed by that. And if I keep doing this, they're gonna not want, you guys are not gonna want me to be in our campaign anymore, because I just keep causing problems with my character, and then it's gonna suck. And then it's going to be awkward between me and you guys. And that was kind of like the hole that I was starting to fall down yesterday. And I'm kind of...
See, it's just kind of funny because early on, there was the language barrier between your character and our characters. And then every single fight, Rill was going down. He was a liability. Like, he would go down every single fight. And then we're at this point where it's like, not only is he a liability in that way, but he's narking on us, getting us in trouble. We got to silence this guy. And it was weird for us as a team. Well, I can't speak for everybody else, but I'll speak for me. But it was weird for me because I'm thinking, man, am I going to have to PK this guy to like ensure the stability and like the life of my character? Do I really want to do that as another player? Do I want to kill my friend in this game? Is there another way around this? Do we just tie him up and just like leave him behind as we go on quests? I'm not really sure.
And I'm thinking to myself, like, I recognized also that there was a part of me, there was a bit more of me in this character than usual. There is a part of me that and the front, I am resistive towards people and the things they bring to me, and I might be a little bit combative about it. But in the back, I want someone to pursue me down that rabbit hole and not let me just walk away. And that's definitely the case with Rill. He's also like that. Like I met that part of me has squeaked through Rill. But the problem is, and Dan talked to me about this one today. He was like, well, like, your character, like, no, like, the team is very fresh, and while that might be something that would be okay if the team had been like well established and you've been through a lot more, that might not work quite the same when they barely know you. And I'm like, And I was like thinking again deeply upon like mixing up how the everyone there out of character views me and how them in character views my character. And I'm recognizing this is probably like a growing moment for me to recognize, okay, just because the party doesn't enjoy the conflict that Rill is creating doesn't mean that everyone else outside of the game as themselves enjoy the moment.
I was watching another YouTuber. Her name is Ginny D, and she does all this DM stuff. I'm sorry, D&D DM stuff and practical, pragmatic ways to sort through the D&D world. And she was talking about when you make a character, especially if you have a proclivity towards a certain bend, like anxiety or being chaotic, or like there was this one video you and I watched earlier about Scoots, and Scoots ran up and punched the Goblin King in the wiener. It's like, oh, that just like breaks all the continuity. But she was saying, if you have a proclivity towards one of those ways, you should make a character that's the opposite way. That way it would take you out of your comfort zone. You also wouldn't identify too closely with any of the conflict that happens to said character. Just thought that was kind of interesting.
That is interesting, to go in the exact opposite of what you would normally be. Well, that's what I was doing with Jalix in the previous campaign. Like, Jalix is chaotic, more deceptive. He's a fun character, but definitely like, his goal is self-preservation, which is not by and large me. But this character was like, it's still not really me. Like, I'm not as perfectionistic. But I definitely chose parts of myself because I figured it would be easier for me to stay in character if I chose parts of myself that I could identify with and then play as. But then I guess come with the baggage of, are the people actually thinking of me?
Yeah, I feel the same way because my character, and if you guys don't know me, obviously don't know my character, but he's very direct, very douchey, very self-absorbed. He's a kind of a younger guy. I guess he's kind of a misogynist now. It just kind of kind of developed that way. But when I play him and respond in certain ways, like I've got this tick now where I'll hear really good advice and I'm like, wait, like somebody will say, well, we should go down here and bust through this door. I'm like, guys, I think we should go down here and bust through this door and just take full credit for it. It's like, is everybody in the party, is the DM, like, are all my friends here playing this with me? Are they thinking, wow, I can't believe he'd do that? Is he really like that? Or are they actually separating who I am from who I'm playing?
Yeah, that's the question I was having a hard time navigating yesterday. And it probably doesn't also help that I view D&D as an opportunity to get to understand people too. So like I'm also like probably overthinking each and every interaction. Not so much in our sessions, but I have done it in like other times that I've played D&D. So I mean, there's that.
You were talking earlier about playing a character that's very similar to you. I think there have been times as we've been playing where you'll make a decision and I'm like, oh, Brandon also makes that decision and it also irritates me the same way that it irritates my character, And so there is a little bit of that. Not saying that I reject you because of it, but there is a little bit of it where it's like, oh, I wish I could roll a D20 in real life, But it kind of does influence how I want to engage your character because, in real life we have that type of conflict as well.
Mm. What are you thinking when you say that? I'm curious.
Like some of the rigidity things, we talked about that last week. It's like, I know you're playing this character and you're playing it true to his backstory and how he would respond based on everything that you rolled and all of like the amalgamations of emotions and thoughts that you built him with. And I'm like, but Brandon would also make that same decision. And that also puts me in a predicament because I want to go this way. But I think it's just because you and I are different, generally. And oddly, our characters are very different. I wonder if wonder if Nemo is actually more like me than I think, aside from misogyny.
These are things that I log in my brain. These are things, because some of the things I recognize is like, okay, like these are like, they're either the characters are representing the parts of you that could be within you, but you're like, I am not this, and so it's like you're playing to who you don't want to be. But then there's like, it's like it didn't come from nowhere, so it's like you learn this could very much so be in a person, but this is an area that they just reject and don't want to go down that path with. Like with Rill, I definitely don't get so caught up when I make mistakes that I start hurting myself. But Rill does. Because that's just like making poor decisions that I wouldn't make in real life. So I recognize it's like, okay, I'm playing this out. I've thought about doing this to myself in times past, but I understand that it's unhealthy. But I'm going to play a character that doesn't yet realize that. And so it's like I'm very conscious and aware that, like, this is something that just did come out of the void. It also was kind of inspired by, like, other people that I've known, too. But still, I could see that. But
do you think, Brendan, that you chose to play him this way because, as you said, I identify that Rill, you speaking obviously, has things and responds in certain ways that I used to, and so it's like maybe a comfort zone type of character where D&D requires a lot of off the cuff response to things.
I don't know.
Do you think you made him from the perspective of, oh, well, okay, well, if something that I've never been through, like some crazy circumstance happens, I at least kind of know how to respond naturally?
I don't know if it's a comfort zone thing, but maybe it is, because like I said, like I definitely consciously developed him to be specific parts of myself, so that way I would know how to play it well. Like if I was gonna make a character that was completely foreign, I didn't feel, it would be a comfort zone thing, because if I would make a character that's completely foreign from who I am, I feel like I would just mess it up because it's not naturally me. So, like, I wouldn't know what that kind of person would think or feel or whatever. So I wouldn't be able to make a gripping story and everything. Because for me, I like D&D. My favorite part of D&D, besides DMing, is to roleplay and to, like, create a captivating story that just hits people's heartstrings and everything. That's my favorite part. Like, I want to.
Oh, just give me the loot, Brandon. Give me the loot and give me the D20s.
Which is fine. It's just that's what I personally enjoy, because it's like I want to create a memorable character that people walk away from thinking, wow, there's a lot of depth in that character. Made it a memorable experience. That's my favorite thing, sharing my characters with the world. So I don't know how to accomplish that with a character that's very different from me. I recognize. Maybe I should try that next time.
Like, as far as myself, I think I'm very complicated to me, because if I knew how to get past all the crap that I deal with and all the dysfunctional behaviors that I have, I'd probably be doing that, But if I fabricate this character and I give them, good things and also give them flaws, it's easier for me to navigate their flaws because I don't have an attachment to it.
Easy to navigate their flaws because you don't have an attachment to it.
Yeah, like there's no pride, there's no dignity there.
Well, I'm thinking from this previous session that it may be good to make more of a detachment from this character that I've created, just so I can allow him to make more decisions that I would normally have that type of character make. Because I'm also recognizing from the previous session that how does my character really know what truly is good, having been cloistered in one area for most of his life and only seeing one race of people for most of his life? On one hand, it isn't real loot and you don't really get anything from it, but also money. Yeah. It is nice to make that money. Although Rill doesn't care as much about money and therefore probably has the least amount of money out of everyone there.
We had this point in this campaign where I wanted to get, I forget what it's called, some kind of dog that carries stuff. And I was like, okay, cool. I'm looking it up on D&D Beyond, and 25 gold pieces, no problem. And so, hey, DM Dan, we're walking through the city. Are there any places that sells dogs? He's like, yeah, sure. Roll for investigation. I investigate, and I find a place that has dogs. And I go up to the pet shop. I'm looking around, and I'm thinking, okay, I have 120 gold pieces in my pocket. I'm going to get me a dog. It's going to be cool. And as I look throughout the shop, oh, this one's 1,200 gold pieces. Wait a minute, Dan. That's not how you're supposed to play D&D. And, as I'm going through this, I had this concept of how I wanted things to play out. And because it didn't play out the way I wanted it to, I actually got a little butthurt. I'm not even kidding. Like, not like angry or anything, but I was disappointed. So talking about what Zap said, on one hand, it isn't real loot and you don't really get anything from it. But because it was my idea that I was attached to, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to try this. I'm going to go this way. And this is going to be a lot of fun. It's going to create this experience. And it's almost like there was a block there. No, you can't do this. That rejection, like, no, you can't roleplay this way, or no, you can't do this in the game. It's like, oh, I feel kind of embarrassed now because my expectation was here and the reality is here, and it's like, ooh.
It's just interesting how this game manages to hit you IRL. Like, no matter how much you recognize as you're playing a character, you're not in your own world, things are not going to go the way you expect it to, you still get hit with areas that hit on real life things on the inside of you. And just like that, I got hit with rejection anxiety yesterday when, like, people hate me. They hate that I'm bringing up this conflict again, even though that's not the case, as I've been told by everyone. I'm like, this is it. They're gonna reject me for it, and they're gonna kick me out of the D&D session, and I'm done. So stupid.
I gotta find that Scoots video. I'm just gonna start calling you Scoots from now on, Brandon.
Scoots. Oh gosh. So I don't know. I'm left not knowing exactly what to do. I have some ideas. I'm realizing I'm probably going to need to really give Rill an opportunity to grow in a way that I wouldn't normally automatically do in the same time frame, because I recognize that there is a degree of cohesion that's necessary, and I don't want to cycle out Rill for another character just for there to be better team cohesion. I can do that, and it's an option. I think
Something that helped me in the previous campaign with Scott was I got to that same point because I played that character and I was kind of shy. So I'm thinking, oh, I'm gonna make a character that doesn't speak much. As the lone wolf, total cop out.
Mhm.
And then Scott was talking to me about character attributes and things that are motivators. And so I started looking that up, and you have these things you can go to, like, okay, well, what kind of foods do you like? And then you roll a D6 or whatever, and then you just have to accept whatever you get from that chart. Like, 1 might be cupcakes, 2 might be steak, 3 might be, grass, or whatever.
Grass. Ooh.
Then there was something else like, what is my fatal flaw? It's like, ooh, I don't want my character to have a fatal flaw. I want to be the badass hero. But my fatal flaw was I was impulsive. Shocker, my current character is also impulsive. But that got us into a lot of trouble, but it was also a lot of fun. But I don't know, just being willing to take that risk with the character and not be so attached that I wouldn't let that control go. Like, why wouldn't I allow my character to have a flaw? Why wouldn't I allow my current character to experience character growth? Do I just enjoy not talking much and not contributing and having that, stern, solid affect? I don't know. I think there was a little bit of pride associated with that, where I didn't want that to be adjusted. But I think giving that up a little bit and being willing to lean into the more childlike side of him, which is something I didn't want to initially do. I don't know. It seems like it's been better for the group as a whole.
I'm glad that you mentioned in the second hand, do I want my character to grow? Because I definitely don't mind having problems, and he's been full case showing his problems. But like I've been like debating, is it time for Real to grow? Like should I just kind of push forward his growth process? And I've been thinking, yeah, I should probably have him start like, hitting some brick walls here and recognizing it's time for him to grow in a way, which feels like anti-growth, honestly, with the direction of the party's headed in a chaotic direction.
Brandon, everybody else has drank the Kool-Aid. You might as well too.
He's gonna be developed. If he has any more character development, he's gonna develop into a villain. At this rate, feels like I'm gonna feel like I'm letting him go down the slope of evil.
Just becoming a party of anti-heroes. That's all.
But the problem is, if he continues to go in the direction of not allowing himself to become more or less perfectionistic and allow for these mistakes to happen, he's going to become a pillar that does not move with the party. But the objectives that I have for him and the limited amount of interaction he's had with other races outside of his own, or anybody much in that general, I don't think I could logically have him continue to be as obstinate as he has about what is and is not right, because that he has to realize, and I think he will realize, this is a different place and these are different people, and maybe this is right, which may be completely the wrong thinking for him, but what else does he have to go by? He doesn't have anything else to go by. He went from a place that was trying to assassinate him and his family 24/7 to a place that's not trying to do that, with people he's never seen before, and the first group he gets in with thinks it's okay to steal things out of the back stock room and burn the evidence.
Yeah, well, just like the feedback that I gave you last night, it's kind of like the episode in every teen movie where the guy goes behind the bleachers and starts having cigarettes with the bad kids. Just lean into it, Brandon.
Oh, it feels so bad. Oh, that's the problem. This character is so connected to that perfectionistic side of me that it's hard to let him not follow the set of rules that he has for himself, but it has to be done. I feel sad for my boy. But I understand. Rejection anxiety, though, it's such an annoying piece.
It's definitely a piece.
It's definitely a piece. Yes. But anyways, do you have any other thoughts you want to bring up before we close it out?
No.
All right. Well, I think we've covered some good stuff. So yeah, I want to put this out there, guys. This last stream that we had was really good. So we're thinking we're gonna continue to have every month at the end of the month, so around that time frame, more competitions. So we're thinking we might do that AI battle again at the end of this month. In fact, I'm pretty certain we're going to do that again. If you've enjoyed the last competition, prepare for the next one. It's probably going to be the end of the month again. And once again, there'll be another gift card up for grabs for the winner. So if you're interested in winning a $30 gift card, it's something that you want to be a part of. The AI battle works as you set up a character. There's a what's the word? A document, a Google form that we have on our Discord page. It will ask for a name and a background and a little bit of motivation, like 1 to 2 sentences for your character. Put that in there, submit the form, and that'll put you into a bracket for the next opportunity to win at the AI battle competition. So if you're interested in that, that's going to be the end of this month in August, or the end of this month, which is August. So there you go. Anyways, I want to thank you guys for watching. If you've enjoyed the stream, make sure to like it, hit the subscribe button, as well as the bell notification button so that you can know when we go live again, which will be this Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It'll be me and Dan. We're going to be playing some games, and we'll be chatting with you guys like we're doing today, just playing the game while we do that. So if you want to be a part of that, that's going to be this Friday at 7. But that said, We broadcast every week on Monday, Friday, and Saturday, so we're looking forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.
I can see far away, yeah, I can see far away from where I've been. He says I see a potential, I see a potential in my eyes, I see a potential. I never lost sight of the reason why you're alive. You're alive. You're alive. We sing Jesus. You're alive.